Welcome back guys, and welcome to a new episode. Today I'm going to try for my first time to refret an instrument, and also you will see Fenrir almost back together. As always, my name is Lars and this is the Building of Fenrir 2 years later. It is finally the time. I need to take away the frets. Now, I never done this job and this scares me a little, but I in theory know what I have to do, and that is to put the solder in place. Let it warm it up a little. I have the solder, I have this fret puller that I bought from Crimson Guitar now 8 months ago, when I originally, no, 8 months ago, 6 months ago, when I originally thought of doing this, and now it's finally the time. I in theory know what I should do. I should use the iron to just warm up I think the edge of the frets and the entire frets a little, and then try to pull it with this. Now this shouldn't be, I want to say it shouldn't be too complicated, but I'm afraid that it will be, because I never done this and it scares me a little. So I think that I will just try and I will give you my impression. This is now warm. So in theory, warm up here a little to release the glue, and here I put some wood glue, no, some super glue on the edge of the frets. This should help this to take it away, well, not take it away, to weaken it. Put this under. Oh, wow. And slowly, oh, just pressing it is enough. This tells how bad the situation was. That was just barely in place. Just for reference, let's try to take away another one without the soldering iron. Oh, now that is a difference. That is a almost clear difference. Solder iron it will be. Doesn't need a lot. Not too much damage, which is good. I mean, a little damage, some here and there, but this should be covered by the next frets. Okay, this is a slow process, but nothing too difficult. So I think that I will stop the camera here and I will finish it. But a couple of minutes and I take away 5 frets. You can see that there is not a lot of damage, a little in some part, but this is probably before this job, so that doesn't count. And I need to take away all of them, and then I will see you again
the next day.
Yesterday the camera ran out of battery, so you didn't saw me putting this. This is just a piece of walnut that I put here to give myself the ability to put. That is a very bad way of saying something. This is a piece of wood that I put here because I want to put a zero fret on this base because I made it. The zero fret is just very comfortable when it comes to set up the thing, the action, and it's very helpful. So I wanted to put it. So now what I have to do is take away the majority of the waste here. I will use the saw, and then I need to clean the fretboard. I need to sand this thing back at 320, and then I need to saw the fret slot with now the right saw and with the right depth, and then I can refret this thing. The fretboard is now sanded and it's very smooth. The patch here looks very bad, but yeah, you know, like I said, it will be covered for the most part, so I'm not too worried about that. And now that I have this thing done, I want to recut the frets. Now I tried already with the first one, and I discover with pleasure that this is just a tad smaller than it needs to be, which is perfect because this will make it wider, and I will not run the risk to have the saw go in weird position, and I can do this for all of the frets and then remake this of the right thickness, the right depth, and then I can put the frets on. I probably didn't record the part where I cut the frets and resaw this. Anyway, I cut the new fret slots. These are looking a lot better. Now what I will do is put a bit of glue in that piece of plywood instead of submerging the entirety. Just a bit of glue, doesn't need a lot. The entirety of the fret slot with the super glue. I will submerge this. Okay, let's remain to the usual way. This doesn't work. This doesn't make my work easier. So let's go. This will be the moment of truth. So I will probably need a syringe the next time that I do this. But in any case, glue on the frets. Okay, and now we will hammer this in place. This is what I was looking for. Now let's go with the next one. And now, while the sun is setting, very romantic, I will finish the job. And I will have a fret at the end of this day. Here we have the fretboard done. The frets are in place. Now I need to level and crown this thing. But I want to do two things before that. One is to take away a little bit of material here from the end, just to make the gap here a little wider for putting the nut. In this case it's just the string guide. And I need to clean the edge here of the frets and also put the bevel. For this I will use a combination of a big file and my leveling beam, and I will use these two to give to myself a good result. using a big file here is better than a small one, like for example this one, because with this I run the risk too often of slipping from the frets and actually damaging the fretboard. So it's better to use something that is a little bigger and just stay focused and be sure to not angle the frets, the file, otherwise you will dent the fretboard really bad, by the way. So I don't know why I started there. And here I will be very careful to not touch this part of the neck because I don't want to damage the neck joint again. Now we'll continue and I will take away the majority of the work of the waste with this, and then the final pass to make just everything smooth and level, I will use the leveling beam because it's a little longer and it will be a little gentle with the 180, and I will take away just a small amount of material and I will make everything look even and smooth to the touch. The fret job is done and it looks nice. I can maybe spend a little more time later trying to make it a little more shiny, but this is functionally good. Now, before I move to actually reassemble this, I have to do a couple of things. One is to drill the new hole for the screw. Okay, and now that this one is done, I need to put finish on this and the color on the two stripe right there. This is now fully dry and I can put the finish. I mean, you can definitely see right now the repair, but the color is there. It's not bad. Now we'll let this to dry, and in the meantime I will put a first coat on the neck. Now for this I will probably go with 3 full coats actually. Now that I have the stain and the finish applied, this looks this looks good, and I will start remounting this thing. Now that I have the wiring in place, let's put the base for the bridge. Now the neck. I will need to buy another screw because actually the last one that I used before wasn't actually like the other screw, was a little smaller, and I need something that is thick for this. Because 7 string are quite a lot and I want this to be as sturdy as it can be. So I will need another couple of screws, and this should make this quite a lot stronger. Now I will not mount the bridge because and I hate this system to put the saddle on, because this thing can come off quite easily. It's very difficult to adjust it either, so I will just leave this in place. Good thing is that I test this and the height of the bridge now should be perfect. And now that I look at this, this is also probably the right... I thought that I will have to adjust this thing, but probably this is now of the right height. And now the bridge is in position. This thing feels a lot heavier, and I miss you, Fenrir. The bridge is at the right height. This means that this, as low as they are just at the right height, which is fantastic. The ramp is at the right height, and 90% of the problem of this base should have been solved. I will not discover this until I actually string this, which I hope that I can do in a couple of days. But right now, this is very good. And I think that we will stop here. Now, originally the idea was to make a 3-part series, but the last bit was, as always, longer than expected, and you will see it in the next episode. But we will stop here with Fenrir almost complete, with the frets now in place, and the refret job was easier than expected, a little nerve-wracking, but it was smooth sailing, let's say like this. Now, before you go, I want to thank you as always, my coffee supporter, the subscriber, the new subscriber, and everyone who wants to comment. As always, appreciated. And we will see in 2 weeks for the final episode, where I'm going to solve the last 2 problems with this build. One is the string holder and the other one is the bridge that I didn't foresee. Actually, you will see later. So I will see you in 2 weeks, and until then, bye.